Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of NAT on Cisco ASA Firewall. Guys, in previous video, in last video, in part 1, we discussed many things about network address translation on ASA Firewall. We discussed type of NAT like a static NAT, dynamic NAT, a static PAT, dynamic PAT. We talked about the order of NAT. We talked about the sections like section 1, section 2, section 3. We talked about the implementation, like we have two ways to implement any type of NAT. One is manual NAT and another one is auto NAT, right? Then guys, we seen some type of NAT configuration on ASA firewall implementation with both method manual as well as auto. And this is part 2. Today we are going to configure REST type of NAT on ASA firewall, right? So right now we don't have any configuration of NAT on ASA firewall, guys. That's why my end users are not able to access internet, and I need to configure NAT on ASA firewall in such a way so that my all end users can access internet, as well as outside user can access my internal servers. So you can see in my internal network there are few servers, right, in VLAN 100, because VLAN 100 is my server VLAN. Then guys, VLAN 10 is my data VLAN, where we have general employees. Let's say VLAN 20 is my finance VLAN, where we have finance people, right? So these users should be able to access internet. So I need to configure NAT on ASA firewall. Okay, so before starting the video, guys, I must tell you, if you have not watched the previous video, means part 1 video, first watch that video, then watch this video, part 2 video. Okay, now without wasting our time, let's begin. So today, guys, we are going to configure multiple types of NAT, but as I told you in the previous video, in the part 1, that it is very important to plan NAT rule, that how you are configuring NAT rule. Like, see, VLAN 10. VLAN 10 is my data VLAN, right? So why I want to configure NAT on ASA firewall? So that my entire subnet can access internet. This is what, this is a general rule. So where you will place this general rule? Definitely in the bottom, right? Bottom in the section 3. Okay, how NAT lookup NAT rules, guys, or section? First NAT ASA lookup section 1, then section 2, then section 3. Section 1 is manual NAT, means if you are configuring a NAT globally, then it will automatically attached with section 1. Section 2 is auto NAT, means if you are configuring the NAT under the object, it will automatically attached with section 2. And guys, section 3 is also manual NAT with some specific keyword. We need to add some extra keyword, right, to put manual NAT in section 3. By default, manual NAT is section 1, right? And order of preference is first ASA will look up section 1, then section 2, then section 3. So this is the order of sections on ASA firewall of NAT, right? And guys, under the section, how ASA is going to look up? Top to down, right? So first ASA firewall is going to check section 1, and in the section 1 it will goes top to down, means first it will check rule number 1, then rule number 2, then rule number 3, then rule number 4, like this. If there is no match in section 1, then ASA is going to look up section 2. Again in section 2, first it will check rule number 1, then rule number 2, then rule number 3, and so on. If there is no match in section 2, then it is going to check section 3. And again in section 3, first it will check rule number 1, rule number 2, then 3, 4, so on, right? So section 1 wins over section 2, and section 2 wins over section 1. Okay. So if there is one rule in section 1 that is matching, guys, right, then ASA is not going to check section 2 or section 3 or any other rule, right? So if ASA is checking section 1, and if there is no match, then only ASA is going to check section 2. If there is match, then ASA is not going to check section 2. Okay. And guys, what is the disadvantage of dynamic NAT? as I told you, in dynamic NAT is what? Many private IP addresses are hidden behind a range of public IP addresses, right? So let's say for the VLAN 10 subnet, I am defining one range of public IP address, and in the range there are two public IP addresses. See, in the range, to configure dynamic NAT or dynamic PAT, minimum two public IP addresses are required. So if there are two public IP addresses in the range, that means only two users can access internet at a time, right? But guys, here you can tell to your ASA firewall to do PAT, right? If public IP address is not available in the pool. Let's say I have configured one dynamic NAT on ASA firewall. So guys, in dynamic NAT, we have one public pool, and in the public pool, there are two public IP addresses. And two users are already accessing internet. That means free public IP address is not available in the pool. So if third PC will try to access internet, ASA is going to drop the packet because free public IP address is not available in the pool. But you can configure your firewall in such a way so that if pool is full, if free IP address is not available in the pool, then ASA is going to translate private IP address into the public IP address which is running on their outside interface, that is PAT. Means telling to ASA firewall, do NAT, do dynamic NAT if public IP address is available. But if public IP address is not available in the pool, then do PAT. So how to configure it? Let's begin. Okay. So guys, let me access the ASA firewall first, and let me show you. We don't have any NAT configuration here. So run NAT. You can see we don't have any NAT. So run object. We don't have any object here, and so NAT, nothing. So that's why you can see, and users means PC1. Let's say PC1 is the member of VLAN 10. Let me assign IP here, IP DHCP. So this PC have got one IP address, guys, 10.10.1.1. Default gateway 10.10.1.254, and default gateway, this IP address is running on core switch. Here you can see on VLAN 10 interface 10.10.10.1.254, right, is running on VLAN 10 interface on core switch, right. On VLAN 20 interface 10.10.2.254, means last IP address of subnet is my gateway. Okay, so I have configured the IP on PC. Now can this PC ping to their default gateway, ping 10.10.1.254? Yes, you can see this PC is able to ping their gateway. Can this PC access internet? Let me try ping 8.8.8.8. See, ping is not working. Why? Because NAT is not configured on ASA firewall. So let me configure the NAT on ASA. Let me take you to ASA firewall here. And how many objects I need to create, guys, to configure NAT for VLAN 10 users? Or let's say I'm configuring a single NAT for VLAN 10 and 20. Even I can configure a single NAT, or I can configure two NAT rules, right? One for VLAN 10 and one for VLAN 20, because we have subnetted the network, right? So either I can match this network 10.10.0.0/16. So you can see both VLAN 10 and 20 users will match under this network, right? But if I am matching this network 10.10.1.0/24, that means VLAN 10 users will match, right? 10.10.2.0/24, VLAN 20 user will match. Getting my point? So hope it is clear. Now, how many objects is required? Two objects is required. One to match private IP addresses, and one object to match range of public IP addresses, right? So very quickly, let me create the object, guys. Network object, and the name of object is, let's say, private IP VLAN 10, right? Here I am going to define the subnet 10.10.1.0, subnet mask 255.255.255.0, 0. Done. Now I need to create one more object to define range of public IP addresses. So let me say object network, and the name of object is, let's say, public underscore NAT for VLAN 10 user. Let's say VLAN 10. Here I am going to define one range of public IP address. So range from 1.1.2 to, let's say, 1.1.3. I have defined two public IP address in this range, means two user can access internet at a time. Now I need to configure NAT. So run object. So you can see I have two object, guys. One is with name private IP VLAN 10, where I am defining private subnet, and one with name public NAT VLAN 10, where I am defining the range of public IP address. Done. Now I am going to configure the manual NAT. Guys, in the previous video in part 1 also I told you I did not configure auto NAT anywhere, right? Because in the auto NAT you cannot adjust the rules, or you cannot rearrange the rules. But most of the people are using auto NAT as well. It's totally depends on you. If you want to configure auto NAT, you can configure. But if you will configure the auto NAT, automatically rule will attached in section 2. But as this is my general rule, right, my entire subnet can access internet, this is the general rule. So in the real time, guys, in the production network, you should always put general rule at the bottom. At the bottom means in section 3 at the bottom, right? Because ASA is going to look up for section 1 first, then section 2, then section 3. So as this is my general rule, I am going to put it in section 3, right? But if you will configure auto NAT, then you can't put it in section 3, then it will automatically attached with section 2. So let me configure the manual NAT here, right? And manual NAT is good, you can adjust, rearrange the order, right, rules. So let's say NAT, and after that inside, outside, source, dynamic, and after that pre-NAT object, right, means my private subnet. So private subnet is matching over here in this object. So let me say private IP VLAN 10. After that post NAT object means public IP address, this object public NAT VLAN 10. Let me copy it and let me paste it over here. Let's hit enter. Now so run NAT. You can see NAT is under global config mode. That means this is a manual NAT, right? But guys, by default this NAT will attach with section 1. So NAT, you can see it is in section 1, because by default manual NAT is section 1, but I want to put it in section 3. So what I am going to do, I am going to remove this entry, say no to this. I'm going to say no to this command, and now again I am going to configure NAT, but this time I am going to add one keyword here, right? To put it in section 3, here I will add one keyword after auto. After auto means auto is section 2, after auto means section 3, right? So this keyword will put this NAT rule in section 3. Okay, so as this is my general rule, I will put it at the bottom, right? So after auto, and then source, dynamic, and after that same your pre-NAT object, this one, and then post-NAT object, which is this one, public NAT VLAN 10. Done. Now so run NAT. So this is your NAT configuration here, and so NAT. Now you can see your NAT rule is in section 3, right? Now can VLAN 10 users access internet? Yes. If NAT is running, then PC can access the internet, right? And for now, guys, so NAT pool, so NAT pool. So you have two IP addresses in the pool, and you can see allocated is 0, right? So both are free now. So but when PC1 will ping to internet 8.8.8, ASA is going to translate private IP address into public IP address. It's not working. Why it's not working? I have to troubleshoot it. So run NAT. So object group, also run object. So here we are defining the correct subnet. Yes, correct range. Okay, everything is fine. So route. So yes, route is also there. Ping 8.8.8.8. Yes, 8.8.8 is reachable from ASA firewall. Then why PC is not able to ping? Let me ping again. Let me debug it. Debug NAT 255. So there is some issue here. Actually this is simulation, so you need to run clear accelerate command. That's it, clear accelerate. Now see, debugging is enabled on ASA firewall, guys. From PC1 I am going to ping. So once I will ping from PC1 to 8.8.8, you can see ASA is translating source. Source is 10.10.1.1 into what IP address? Into 1.1.1.2. Now 1.1.1.2 is translated into this private IP address. So if you will check NAT pool, so you can see one public IP address is allocated, right? Now you have only one free public IP address in the NAT pool, guys, right? 1.1.1.2 is already allocated to PC1. So what will happen when any other device will access internet? It is going to use second public IP address, right? So let me do one thing. From the core switch, on the core switch also I have one interface in VLAN 10. So from that interface I am going to, let's say, telnet the internet router just to occupy one public IP address. So let me say telnet 8.8.8.8, and then guys source is a VLAN 10 interface. So yes, you can see I have telnet access of internet, right? And now you can see ASA firewall have translated the source into what public IP address? So NAT pool, you can see both IP addresses allocated. Both IP addresses allocated. Means this private IP address which is running on a core switch is translated into this public IP 1.1.1.3, and PC1 IP address means 10.1.1.1 is translated into 1.1.1.2, and you had only two IP address in the pool, guys, right? Now ASA don't have free public IP address available in the pool. So what will happen when next PC will ping to internet? Means PC number, let's say 2, which is member of same VLAN. So here you have ASA firewall. Let me take here and let me access PC2. On PC2 also I am going to say IP DHCP. So PC2 will get IP address. Okay, so IP address of PC2 is 10.10.1.2. Gateway is this one. Let me ping internet, ping 8.8.8.8. See, ASA firewall is not able to translate it. Failed. Why failed? Because public IP address is not available in the pool. Public IP address is not available in the pool. This is why ASA is dropping the traffic. Actually, what is happening when PC2 is trying to ping internet? ASA will receive traffic on inside interface, and guys, NAT is running. So ASA will check NAT rule. First it will check section 1. In the we don't have section 1 here, right? So it will move to section 2. Again we don't have section 2, so it will check section 3. In the section 3 we have one rule, right? We have one rule where source is going to be match. Source is going to be match because source is private IP underscore VLAN 10, where we are matching VLAN 10 subnet, right? So source will match. Now ASA have to translate. ASA must do translation, but public IP address is not available in the pool, so ASA is going to drop it. If there is match, then ASA must do translation, but free public IP address is not available. So what you can do here, you can configure your firewall in such a way so that whenever pool gets full, then it will start doing pat, means it will translate the rest private IP addresses into the public IP address which is running to their interface, to their outside interface. Okay, so how to configure it? Simply go to configure terminal mode, guys, and so run NAT. This is your NAT configuration, right? Now I'm saying NAT, again inside, then outside, and after that after auto to put it in section 3, and then source dynamic. Pre NAT object is this one, let me copy it, and post NAT object is this one, let me copy it, and after that I'm saying interface. That's it. This command means if there is no public IP address available in the pool, then translate the source into the public IP address which is running on your outside interface. Now guys, here if you will check, so run NAT, so you can see you have two NAT rule configuration here, two statement, and so NAT, you can see both are in section 1, because manually we have put it in section, sorry, in section 3, not 1, section 3. Manually we have put it in section 3. So first ASA is going to check this rule, right? But if public IP address is not available in the pool, then ASA is going to perform what? PAT. It will do PAT, port address translation. To verify it, so NAT pool, you can see we don't have any free IP address available allocated to. We have two public IP address in the pool and both are allocated. So if PC3 means PC2, other PC will try to ping internet. See, ASA is going to translate source into 1.1.1.1, which is running on their outside interface, right? So the IP address of PC2 is 10.10.1.2. This is the private IP address, and ASA have translated it into this IP address 1.1.1.1, right? Which is their outside interface IP address. So run interface G0/1. You can see the IP address of outside interface 1.1.1. Now the matter how many users are accessing the internet. They all can access internet at a time, right? But until and unless public IP address is available in the pool, guys, ASA will perform dynamic NAT. If public IP address is not available in the pool, then ASA will perform PAT. Okay, it will translate source into the IP address which is running on their outside interface. That's it. This is the concept. Okay, so now VLAN 10 users are able to access internet. I'm going to exit from here, right? And from on the ASA firewall, so NAT pool, we don't have any IP address available here, right? So I'm going to run clear accelerate command, and now if you will check, so NAT, you can see all IP addresses are available in the pool. Okay, so now VLAN 10 users can access internet. Can VLAN 20 user access internet? No, right? So I need to configure NAT for VLAN 20 user as well. So what is the subnet for VLAN 20? 10.10.2.0/24, and I'm going to do same thing for VLAN 20 as well, guys. I will configure, let's say, two public IP address, right, in the pool for the translation, but if pool is full, then it will perform PAT, port address translation, and same thing we are doing in real time as well, right? So let me take you to ASA firewall, and here I am going to create one object first. So run object, so let me say object network and private underscore VLAN, let's say what, 20. And let's say I'm going to use same public IP address, right? Same range of public IP address for VLAN 20 subnet translation as well, right? Like ASA will translate the all private IP address of VLAN 20 into this range of public IP address 1.1.1.2 to 1.1.1.1.3. So I'm going to use same pool. Okay, so to configure NAT, what I will do, I will run command NAT inside outside, then to put it in section 3 after auto, and then source dynamic, then guys pre-NAT object private VLAN 20, and then post NAT object public NAT VLAN 10, this one, right? Hit enter, right? Now can VLAN 20 user access internet? Let me try. So NAT pool, so NAT pool. So yes, both IP address is available, right? So let me do one thing. Let me access PC3, which is member of VLAN 20. I think I have already access of PC3 here. Yes, right. And say ping. So IP. So yes, IP is already there, guys. 10.1.2.1. 2.1 is the IP address of this PC. Let me ping 8.8.8.8. And where is the firewall? Let me place firewall console in front of you so that you can see the translation. See, ASA firewall is not translating inside 10.10.2.1 to 8.8.8. Just wait. So run a NAT. Oh, NAT configuration is not there on ASA firewall. Config T. Where is the command? NAT inside, outside. Okay, you know what is happening here? You are using the same pool. This pool is already in use with VLAN or with other NAT rules. So here I need to create the another object, guys. Let me create it. Object network, and the name is, let's say, public underscore VLAN 20, where I'm going to define the range, same range, 1.1.1.2 to 1.1.1.3. Exit. Now I'm going to again run this command. NAT inside outside after auto, source dynamic, pre-NAT pool is private underscore VLAN 20, and post NAT pool is public underscore VLAN 20, public underscore VLAN 20. Okay, now so run NAT. Why I am not able to even run this command? What is happening? NAT infinity inside outside NAT minimal NAT configuration is first. Added new NAT configuration, allocation key 5, inserting NAT configuration at tail of section 3. So NAT, still we have only 2 rule here, so run NAT. just wait. So object, so run object and say NAT inside, outside, after auto, dynamic, source dynamic, and then pre-NAT object, private VLAN 20 and post NAT object public VLAN 20. I'm getting some error. Empty object group detect NAT policy is not downloaded. Wait guys, what issue I'm getting here? There is some misconfiguration, I think. Dynamic, then yes, I need to define the pre-NAT object. So object, let me check the object once again. So run object. So in the VLAN, here in this object we did not define any subnet, right? So let me define the subnet again. Here object network and private VLAN 20, right? Here says subnet 10 dot 10 dot 2.0 255.255.255.0, correct? Now again, so run object, so run object. So yes, this time I have defined the subnet and subnet is correct. Okay, now let me say NAT inside, outside, after auto to put it in section 3, and source dynamic, and pre-NAT object is private VLAN 20 and post NAT object is public underscore VLAN 20. Let me enter this time. Yes. Now so run NAT. So you can see you have one new NAT rule here, and guys it will attached with section 3. So NAT, right? So in section 3, rule number 3, right? First ASA will check rule number 1, then rule number 2, then rule number 3. So when PC from VLAN 20, means any user from VLAN 20 will try to access internet, source IP address is going to be 10.10.2.1, 2, or it can be 3, anything, right? So subnet is different, right? So subnet will not match in rule number 1, it will not match in rule number 2, but it will match in rule number 3. Then it will perform translation. So now from PC3, I'm going to ping 8.8.8, which is memory of VLAN 20. And you can see this time ping is working and ASA firewall is translating source into this public IP address 10.1.1.1.2, right? So 10.10.2.1 is translated into 1.1.1.2. Fine. Then let me access PC1 also, VLAN 10 user. So yes, VLAN 10 user is also able to access internet, right? Now guys, in the pool IP address is not available. See, so NAT pool, so NAT pool. So in the pool allocated IP address is 1, so still one IP address is available. That means core switch 1 can telnet internet router, telnet 8.8.8.8 and source interface VLAN 10. Yes. Again here we have some problem. So NAT pool, allocated IP address is 1 from this pool. From this pool also one IP address is allocated. So total 2 IP addresses already allocated, right? 1.1.1.2 and 1.1.1.3 both are already allocated. So free IP address is not available. So ASA can perform PAT for VLAN 10 user, but ASA will not perform PAT for VLAN 20 user because we have not configured PAT for VLAN 20 user, right? That means my PC, which PC4, which is also member of VLAN 20, cannot access internet. So go to PC4 and let me ping 8.8.8.8. See, ping is not working, ping will not work, and go to ASA Firewall. See, ASA Firewall don't have any free IP address available for translation, right? So either you can run escalate command here to clear the pool, or you can configure again PAT for VLAN 20 user. So to configure PAT for VLAN 20 user, what you will do, guys? Simply I will run this command. So run NAT, and I am going to add the interface keyword with this command. Let me paste it over here. And say interface. Now if PC4 will try to access internet, PAT is not working, right? So free public IP address is not available in the pool. That's why REST PCs are not able to communicate with internet. This is problem of simulation software. But guys, again, in the dynamic NAT you have some problem. So that's why we come up with dynamic PAT. Okay, so this is how you can configure the dynamic PAT as well on ASA Firewall, right? And you can configure the dynamic PAT after dynamic NAT as well. This is dynamic PAT configuration after dynamic NAT. And static PAT is used for condition. When you want this user want to access that branch office, do the translation for him. In that scenario, you will configure what dynamic PAT. Okay, so now I'm going to remove all NAT configuration. So run NAT, and I'm going to configure a single rule. Let's say dynamic PAT for all the users of VLAN 10 and 20. All the users IP address should be translated into a single public IP address. Okay, so see how I can achieve it. So first of all, I'm going to remove this all NAT configuration. Say no. Then say no to this also. Then say no to this also. And then no to this. Done. So run NAT. We don't have any NAT, so run object. We have multiple objects. Now I'm going to delete all objects as well, because object is also not required. I need new object. This object is not required, guys. No to this. And so run object. Yes, we have two more object. and no to this object. Done. So run object. Now we don't have object. Now guys, I'm going to create one object which will match all private IP addresses of VLAN 10 as well as VLAN 20, right? One object is going to match both subnet VLAN 10 and 20. So let me say object network, and let's say private network, private, let's say subnet, private underscore subnet, which is 10.10.0.0. This one. Here I am going to define subnet what 10.10.0.0 subnet mask 255.255.0.0. So now you can see all users of VLAN 10 and 20 are matching in this subnet, correct? Now I am going to create one pool for one single public IP address, because this time I'm going to configure dynamic PAT, means many private IP address will be translated into a single public IP address. Okay, so let me say object network and public IP, let's say for public IP for 10.10.0.0, right? Here I am going to set host 1.1.1.2, let's say. Done. Now guys, I need to configure NAT. So say NAT inside, outside, and where I will place it. It is very important. So I will place it in again section 3, or you can place it in section 2 as well by configuring auto NAT. So with the help of manual NAT, either you can place it in section 1 or in section 3. So in section 1, I'm going to configure one-to-one NAT guys for the servers. So I will place it in section 3. So say after auto, then source dynamic, and after that pre-NAT object. Pre-NAT object is this one, and then post-NAT object. Post-NAT object is this one. Done. So run NAT, right? So we have only one statement, and so NAT, this statement is in section 3, correct guys, which is matching entire subnet of VLAN 10 as well as VLAN 20. This time you don't have any. So NAT pool, right? In the NAT pool, you can see you have only single IP address. You have only single IP address. Now let me try to ping internet from PC1. Let me take you to PC1 and ping 8.8.8.8. See, ping is working, right? And source IP address is translated into 1.1.1.2, right? When PC2 will ping 8.8.8, again you can see source IP 10.1.1.2 is translated into same public IP address 1.1.1.1, and this time you can see the port number, right? It's showing you the same port number. This is just because of simulation software guys, but in the real time it is going to translate the source port number into a unique port number, Now can VLAN 20 users can access internet? Yes. Let me take you to PC3 and let me ping 8.8.8. Yes, it is able to access internet, and again ASA is translating source into same public IP address. 10.10.2.1 is translated into 1.1.1.2, right? Core switch, can core switch telnet internet router? Yes, and again you can see it is translated to same public IP address, right? And on the ASA firewall, so NAT pool, you can say allocated is 0, right? So this is guys PAT configuration. Now with the help of single statement on ASA firewall, so NAT, we have a single rule. With the help of this rule, all VLAN 10 users and 20 users can access internet. Now I need to configure bidirectional NAT. This was unidirectional NAT, means you can access the internet but internet cannot access you, right? But this is the not case for server, because server guys should be accessible from outside. So I need to configure bidirectional NAT. For now, if you will try to access internet from the server, you can see server is not able to access internet. Ping 8.8.8.8. Ping is not working and ASA is not doing translation for this IP address because it will not match in the rule, in the statement. Done. So now I need to configure NAT. Bidirectional NAT means one-to-one NAT, and static NAT is the one-to-one NAT, guys, bidirectional. So how to configure it? Again, you need to create two objects first. One will match the private IP address of server, one will match the public IP address of server. So let me say object network web server private IP, let's say private host. What is the private IP address of server, guys? 192.168.10.1. That's it. Then object network web server public. Let's say public IP address for web server is 1.1.1. Let's suppose 5, right? So I've created two object. So run object, one with name web server private, one with name web server public. In the web server private, I have this IP address. In the web server public, I have this IP address. Now I am going to place this NAT rule in section 1 so that ASA will always check this rule first, right? Or even you can place it in section 3 as well, guys, in section 2 as well, guys, but you already learned how to place a NAT rule in section 3. This is why I'm going to put it in section 1. So what I will do, I will say NAT, then inside, outside, source, static, not dynamic, and then pre-NAT object. Pre-NAT object is web server private. Post-NAT object, web server public, right? So run NAT. So we have two rules, right? And so NAT. So you can see this rule is in section 1, guys. One-to-one translation is in section 1 and this PAT is in section 3. So first ASA will look up for section 1. It will check this rule. If the rule will not match, then ASA is going to check this section. So this is why it is important for the production network to plan NAT rule very carefully, right? And your all critical rules like VPN rules will be at the top, right, in section 1, and your all general rules will be in at the top bottom in section 3, right? So I have configured the NAT, guys. Now let me try to ping internet from the server again. So here I have ASA. Let me access the server and let me say ping 8.8.8. Yes, you can see ping is working, and ASA firewall have translated this private IP address into this public IP address 1.1.1.5, right? Now outside user can also access my server with the help of this private IP address, sorry, public IP address, right? So let me check, go to internet router. Where is internet router? Here it is. And guys, on the internet router, from the internet router, I am going to say ping 1.1.1.5. Where is my ASA? Is ASA doing translation? Yes, ASA is doing translation. ASA is translating 1.1.1.5 outside interface IP address is okay, traffic is coming from this interface, so it is translating this to 192.168.10.2, 1.1.1.5 to 192.168.10.1. But why ping is not working? Maybe lower security level to higher security level traffic are not allowed. So on ASA firewall, I can configure one ACL access control list to allow lower security level traffic to higher security level traffic. Simply I can say access list, extended access list, then the name of access list is, let's say, out in or outside to inside, right? After that extended, and then permit IP or ICMP, right? And then source is going to be any, and destination is what should be the destination? It is very important. See guys, ASA will check ACL first or NAT first, right? Means if ASA will do the translation first, then you have to allow which traffic? 192.168.10.1. If ASA will check ACL first, then you have to allow 1.1.1.5, means your public IP address. But ASA will look up for NAT first, right? So after the translation, destination IP address is going to be 192.168.10.1. Before translation, destination IP address is 1.1.1.5, right? So if someone is pinging to 1.1.1.5 from the internet, ASA will receive it. First ASA will do the translation, means it will translate 1.1.1.1 to 1.1.1.5 to 192.168.10.1. After that, it is going to check ACL. So let me allow any to 192.168.10.1, and then guys, ICMP source any, and here I need to say host. Destination is going to be this one, so host keyword, right? Now access group, and after that name of your ACL, this one, then direction in on the interface outside, right? Now from the internet, let me try to ping. Yes, now you can see ping is working, right? Now from the internet, with the help of public IP address of server 1, I'm able to access the server, right? So you are not pinging to this public IP address, actually you are pinging to the internal server with the help of public IP address, because bidirectional NAT is running on ASA firewall. So even you can try, you can telnet 1.1.1.5, so you can see you will have access of server. It is translating 1.1.1.5 to 192.168.10.1. Again you need to allow TCP traffic, right? From lower security level to higher security level, you need to configure ACL. Okay, so guys, this is all about the NAT configuration on ASA firewall. Okay, so we talked about the many types of NAT implementation, orders, theory, configuration, everything. Okay. Now guys, last request to you is, if you have learned something from this video, right, from part 1 and part 2, make sure you have watched both part 1 and part 2, right? Then only you will get everything. So if you have learned anything guys, please hit on like button. If you have any question, any concern, please let me know in the comment section, right? And if you want more videos like this, if yes really this video is helpful for you, then guys let me know in the comment section. Just type yes, this video was helpful, or just type yes. Once you will type yes in the comment section, I will get to know yes, this video was helpful for you, right? It will motivate me to make more videos. Okay, so don't forget to share your feedback in the comment section. If it was helpful, just say yes in the comment section. Okay, so that's all for today. We'll meet soon in next video guys. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye. And if you want any video on any other topic, then also you can let me know in the comment section. Just put your topic, like make a video on this topic, make a video on that topic. Okay, I will try to make video as soon as possible. Okay, that's all for today. Bye bye. Thank you. Thanks for watching.